Zach Raber is the head cross-country coach for both the men and the women at Trine University. Coach Raber, how are you?
I'm great. Great.
It's good to have you in. I know you're kind of between seasons right now, so thanks for making a little time. I was reading your bio today, and of course you were a great athlete when you were in school, and you were coached by a man named Rob Johnson.
Yep.
Who was one of the Olympic coaches. What was it like to be coached by a guy involved with the Olympics?
Robert H. Johnson, he's kind of a legend in the track and field world. He's just a man of giant character, just kind of a bellowing voice, and he was more of a sprint guy, I won't lie to you, but when he spoke, everybody listened, and he was a master motivator. That was the biggest thing. And I think that's one of the reasons he got put on the Olympic team. He knew how to handle athletes, and he was great at it.
When you were a student athlete, what was your favorite event?
I was a cross country guy.
Gotcha.
Loved AK. My cross country team was really tight. Still very close friends with those guys. I was a 5K guy on the track, which was fine, but it was really cross country that was my love.
I was talking to one of the cross-country runners today about the mental toughness involved with this, and a lot of the times you're competing against yourself. You're competing against your own time and sort of your own standard, but you're out there in a stretch where you start to feel tired, and you've got to be so sharp and tough mentally. Is that something that a coach can help with, or is it more of the physical aspect?
I like to think we can help with it.
Mm-hmm.
Being engaged for a 25-minute race or a 22-minute race for the women, that's tough. Mm-hmm. And those are things that we can practice during our practice sessions, long runs, tempo runs, things of that nature. But really it comes down to what does the kid want? What is that student athlete looking for? And as long as they're tough and they can mentally engage for that length of time, then they're going to be all right.
So you coached at the high school level for 11 years at Carroll near Fort Wayne.
Yep.
What's the difference between coaching at the high school level and then making the jump to the college level?
Oh wow, that's a good question. The kids are the same, but they're in a different situation.
Yep.
High school kids, we can control kind of all aspects of their day. They're in school for 8 hours. Their parents have them afterwards. We know what they're eating. We know what their rest patterns are. Those kinds of things. When they get to college, that's on them. We try to teach them the tools that are going to make them successful in all those areas, but that's probably the biggest thing. They're men and women now. They're not boys and girls, and so trying to teach them those life skills to be able to be successful in cross country and track, that's the biggest thing.
Well, you have one of the greats on your team right now, and Evie. Evie Boltemeyer she's MIAA Runner of the Year last year,
right.
And just had incredible career. What's it been like to coach her during the years?
She's awesome. She's really kind of the perfect athlete to coach. Everything we throw at her, she's willing to do. She's 100% in. She takes care of all the little things, the sleep, what she's eating. She takes her vitamins. She does all those things that we ask. She was actually she was a hurdler in high school in track and field, and so. She's had this progression to kind of get to be a really good distance runner, and she's awesome. She's soft-spoken, but when she gets out on the course or she gets on the track, she's a killer. She wants to win, and you can't teach that.
So you've wrapped up the cross-country season, which was truncated a little bit by COVID, just like everything else. What was the season like this year, and how was it different?
It was quite a bit shorter. It's about 6 weeks shorter, so we had to make adjustments for that within our training plan. But honestly, the biggest thing was getting the kids an opportunity to just go out and compete. They lost their outdoor track season. We actually got pulled from the indoor track championships, where Evie was the #1 seed in the mile, and that was a really hard thing. And then to come back and tell the kids that the outdoor season was done, it was an emotional time. And so the season. It was more about giving those kids an opportunity to get back out there, try to create some normalcy, and really be together. Cross country is such a sport where it's about being with your teammates, and to have that opportunity. Trine University is a great university, and one of the reasons is because they've given these student athletes an opportunity to go out and compete, and that's about their mental psyche as well, and that camaraderie, and they need that.
So we've talked about Evie. Who are a couple others on the men's and women's side this fall who made an impact for your program?
Well, you know, Jack Beekus, one of our senior boys, he's come a really long way. Definitely one of the leaders on the team. He's a grinder, puts in a ton of work. You know, he was a national qualifier in cross country last year and was actually the first kid out in indoor track to not make it in the 5K. So he was trying to prove something this year, and just a great kid. He'll go on to graduate school somewhere, whether it's here or somewhere else. But Derek Miller is another one of our senior boys. Just had a really nice career. Was the indoor 3,000 meter champion last year in our conference, and you know, he had a really nice fall as well. But on the women's side, you know, Megan Theismann was a transfer from Indiana Tech, and you know, unfortunately, she's a senior this year. She missed the outdoor season. Really, just kind of got into our program last fall. Or last winter, I'm sorry, but she's taken leaps and bounds, and fantastic leader, along with Elizabeth Lohman, Ruthie Lubke. We just saw this great progression from our kids, and you know, they could have turned the other way in the summer and said, you know, we aren't going to have a full season. You know, what are we doing? But instead, they looked at it as a great opportunity and just kind of took hold of it, and has a lot to do with our senior leadership.
So you had a successful cross-country season, albeit shortened.
Shortened. Yep.
Now you're practicing for indoor track, as I understand it. You're also the associate men's and women's head track coach.
Yep.
But I mean, it'll be a couple of months before they actually compete again. Do you let them have a donut or a Pepsi at this point, or is it still we're eating broccoli and lean chicken? I mean, do they get a break at some point?
They do. You know, endurance athletes are different than other athletes. You know, they have to be in kind of the practice mode all the time. Right. We give them about 10 days off after cross-country season, and they can do with it as they please. And then it's back to the grind. You know, that slow kind of build up in mileage. I'm sure they're eating their donuts and doing all those things now. But they know once we really get into the heart of training, which won't be until December probably, they'll get back at it, and they love it. You know, that's part of what makes our teams great is they're willing to do all those little things to be successful.
So as the associate head track coach for men and women, what do you specialize obviously in distance for that? What are some of the distance events that your student athletes will participate in? Right,
so indoor I coach the 3,000 meters and the 5,000 meters. Coach Fletcher coaches the middle distance, which would be 800 and the mile. As we roll into outdoor season, I coach the 10K, the 5K, and then he and I co-coach the steeplechase.
Are you out on a golf course or a golf cart out on the running course, or are you running along with them?
Neither, really. If I had a golf cart, I'd probably use it. You know, these kids they're on long runs. You know, they're running 6 to 12 miles at a time. So I'm usually in the car, kind of yelling at them a little bit. When we do workouts, we'll do them on the golf course or we'll do them on trails, and I'll be able to kind of watch those. But yeah, my running days are pretty much over.
Coach Raber, we appreciate your time. You've had great success, and I look forward to hearing about even more success as the indoor and outdoor track seasons come up soon.
Well, thank you.